Hello everyone, Kenty Tiger here with Bengali Engineering and Play. We are back in No Man's Sky. I've been doing a little roaming around. Did some checking and rechecking again of some of the mods that did not appear to be functioning. Tried another couple mods. I tried exosuit voice changer. That didn't work out so well. I liked it. I thought the voice was really cool. Uh, it happened to be a male voice, um, one of the very few male voice exosuit mod changers. But the voice was so quiet that it really was kind of ineffective. Um, so while I liked the voice and I thought a very good job was done, it just you couldn't hear the voice. So anyway, um, I have been complaining quite a bit about the shipboard handling. So I went through some of the settings and realized there's actually um, they call it a tethered version, and perhaps I should just launch and see. All right. So, I can actually quit complaining, and for all of the hostile words back to the to Hello Games about not being able to design a good flight thing, I take it back. So what they did was they added what they called a tethered mode. So let me just go there and show you, so we can see. So flight controls. Um, so inverted. So for those of you who have never been in the cockpit of an aircraft, um, so if you're sitting in your seat and you push forward on the stick, whether that be a steering wheel type stick or more of a fighter control type stick, um, the nose is down. Okay, so forward, down. Um, Pull it towards you or back, and nose is up. So it's the opposite of a camera control with up and down. So usually inverted. So it inverts the mouse control so you can actually fly it like a stick. An actual aircraft, nose up, nose down. So anyway, so inverted, that's what that means. So you have a tethered, which is the normal, which is reversed to what you're used to if you've done flight controls. Locked, which is of course reversed. So there's the tethered inverted. So inverted is what you want. Tethered is where you move it and the nose drifts towards where you've moved. So kind of a logarithmic curve of speed, which is what I just absolutely friggin' despised. And then, so when I was looking in here, I noticed, oh my goodness, locked. I wonder if that works. And it does. It changes it back into a flight control mode. So, for example, I'm flying now, and I'm moving the mouse, and it is extremely responsive to the mouse. Let me shift back to this tethered mode, and you'll see what I mean by this. That was just absolutely freaking hideous. So, you see there's now a little reticle, and as I'm moving the mouse, you see the reticle move, and then the nose of the aircraft actually drifts towards the movement, which I think is just totally silly. So, back to the more reasonable locked, where the aircraft is extremely responsive to the mouse control, which is exactly what flight control should be. I think I've already been here. So the reason I'm flying is because I'm kind of, oh, I haven't been there. It's so close to, wow, that's kind of strange. So a lot of times what I'll do is kind of fly around a little bit and try and find things. So there's a knowledge stone. Which actually I can, because I need to find this thing. Whoa! This shelter. So I might as well fly towards that shelter. Try not to run into things. So one of the things I've noticed with the thrust control is you can burst up and then it will actually slow down. So I'm not sure what this is here. Maybe an industrial complex of some kind that keeps shrinking as I get closer. Oh. The landing pad number. Oops. I suppose I could have landed on the landing pad, couldn't I? Imagine that. Alright, well I might as well do my move around. So I never finished my sentence, I guess. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna abandon this planet, because I am stuck at like 7 of 9 or 7 of 10 subspecies here, and so I mean, you get to that point where you just yes, there's always things to discover on a planet, I agreed, but I tend to, if there's really nothing I need to discover on a planet except for life forms, then you know, probably time to move on when I've been, you know, a couple hours in the search of. All right, so here's a Viking guy. And this is for weapon ammunition. Oh, okay. So, if I'm to interpret what he's saying, so this is getting into the language thing, is so console Pubu here, Pabu, Paba, don't know. Anyway. Is rather chastising himself for having let his weapon go depleted. So, ran out of ammo. So, that's my interpretation, is that ultimately it's going to have something to do with you giving ammo or something like that. Furious with themselves. Okay, well that was a pretty good interpretation. Nothing happens. Alright, so yeah. Clearly out of ammo. So what I don't remember is I couldn't remember whether it was thamium that I needed, but so I just kind of went to the conservative and gave him the better value stuff. So well, anyway. Probably either one of those would have been fine. Just trying to comfort the warrior. These guys are not really into the whole comfort thing, so probably wouldn't have done anything. So you help them. There's another point for you to increase your standing with the Viking. Always a good thing. So I think this is an observatory. I'm going to avoid this one just because I don't want any more extra stuff. So, stock over here. This is free money. very much free money, but hey, 753 units is 753 units. Off I go. So over here is going to be a trade guy, and over on this one, I'm not sure what we're looking at. Looks like a transmission tower, which I may be able to discover a crashed ship. So I had that Exocraft scan mod that I kind of briefed at the beginning of this entire series. And, oh, can't see very well in here. Transmission tower. Yeah, I like these. Because my ship is as advanced as it is. Okay, so this is a subtraction game here. So how do we get from 80 to 71? Well, that's a minus 19, right? So, oh, sorry, 9. I'm going backwards here. So 9. So then, how do I get from 71 to 63? Looks like an 8. 63 to 56 is a 7. So 6. Then, so 9, 8, 7, 6, which should be, so 63 to 56 is 7, right? Yes, okay. So, the trick with all of these, crashed freighter, a lot of digging in the ground, but can be very lucrative. Alright, so I think we've done everything here we can do. And forgive me for the stuttering, which on the video I know it's stuttering pretty badly. And that's because so I run dual machines. The machine that's actually doing the video recording is an older machine, and it has a lot of trouble, so it's already stuttering. But the game actually is stuttering quite a bit, and I think I just need to reboot. So reboot can fix an awful lot of things. So when I'm off stream, I do a lot of building, gathering, and everything like that. So including doing saves, and I archive separately from the game. So I close the game down, reload the game, close the game down, reload the game. So overall, many games, when they close, they don't always release all of the assets, such as memory and that sort of thing. So when they come back, load up, then you see these kind of hiccups that happen. That ship was already inbound. I suppose just for fun. Trade, please. Let's see if they have anything. 1%. So one of the other things I did off screen was get rid of a lot of money. And the reason I did that is because the way the integer is a large integer, and it goes from, I think it's positive 2 billion 176 or something like that, um, to negative. Standard integer format in a file. So nothing magic there. But as you approach either extreme, it shifts over to the other direction. Um, so if you have positive numbers and you exceed that 2.176 billion or something like that, it shifts to negative and starts counting down. The game, because it was never designed for negative numbers in the units category, will screw up a lot of things. So you can't buy anything anymore or anything like that. You can sell, but you can't buy anything. So having said that, when I sell things, I acquire pretty quickly now because I usually sell things in quantity. So, I got rid of money. So, just because I use cheaters doesn't mean I don't use them to correct things that are going to happen. So, it's not just about positive things. I can also adjust my money down. Bypass chip. You can actually buy bypass chips. Imagine. Matter? Oh, pretty expensive for antimatter, right? Actually, the antimatter in this case more expensive than the actual whoops, green gold, copper. So one of the neat things about this particular mod, which is this kind of solid traders, is what this particular mod is, which adds a lot of different things. But it's just just trading items. None of the rare stuff is going to come in. So you're going to see all your common materials, your common elements are here. But the Radox, for example, is a rare element, and they're all for sale. Marine, Callium, and starts with an O. I'm trying to remember what it's. Omega, there it is. So all of that stuff for sale. So very few. There's a couple components that use the Omega. So when you're building stuff in your ship, some of the technologies actually do call for some of those rare elements. I think Omega and Rad. So in my case, I've transferred most everything that is for sale is actually in my ship. So, having said that, gotta let this guy move off the platform here. Maybe too close. So if you're at one of the trade stations and you don't want them to leave, you kind of stand between them. So when you're close enough, the ship will not take off. I don't know if there's a timer. It could be actually a timer. Alright, I suppose, oh, really? Which is really to say, okay, so here's our nanites. Nanites are free. I'm here, so I might as well take them. Not that I need them. Again, if you see these boxes, this is a new multi-tool. You could get some actually really interesting ones. And Galactic Trade Terminal. But my goal here is that I'm going to talk to this guy because I want the interaction with so he's probably going to show off his weapon to me. Again, the Viking do not like the Sentinels at all. Obviously a very warlike race, warlike race here. So just because I'm going to go ahead and look in for S because they clearly like their multi-tool. So, as I said, the goal here was interaction with the... We'll go to Journey. Oh, okay. Already passed. So finished this particular milestone. So I was at 39 and reached 40. So I probably... Yep, there we go. I was expecting to see that, but... So I would normally want to trade and get this over with, but ships are coming so fast that that they're not able to I'm not able to land my ship here. If I land my ship on the pad, then I can transfer, or rather sell the various things that are in my inventory, or rather in my ship's inventory. Otherwise, as you saw inside, I did not have the capability of attaching on, or actually while I was out here on the pad, you don't have access to your ship's inventory, other than if you're landed on the pad here. So we'll patiently wait for this ship to leave, and then punch up to have my ship land, and then sell off some of the stuff I have in my compartments. And this is taking so long. Didn't happen. Damn it. That's really frustrating. Alright, so back with it. Fell it off later. Alright, so what I have not done is go to the space station of this particular solar system. So what I think I'll do is launch, and we'll go ahead and find that space station, and go on up to it. So launching, oops, sorry, wrong button. So space. Very shortly, we'll find this dip. I'm not sure what that means. Artemis. Change browser work. I've been left a message call. Okay, so so you see the icon. There's actually two icons. So the icon at the top is the station that I need to come back to. So I do want to find. This is the shelter. Oh, crash freighter. Sorry. The other icon that's on the screen here now at the bottom is the space station. So that's a static icon. It will always be. So in this case, I'm going to set my pulse engine, and we will go to the space station. So space stations are where you can pick up missions. So a lot of changes to the space stations over the course of time. You can also find your hirelings here. So the one hireling that I still need is a Gek farmer. So oh, that was close. So the object here is to actually find where the heck it is. So there's the evidence. It does auto take control. Once you get into that blue kind of cone thingy, it autopilots you. All you have to do is get your nose into that. Alright, so for those of you who played this a long time ago, so this was the trading side. And this side was a little bit limited access, so you had to have your Atlas Pass 1 to even get in over here. The missions are over here. So this is my third solar system. So I don't know if this aspect of the game is broken, which is really to say my save game still is totally broken, or what. Because I was not able to before. So this is your teleporter. So you can supposedly you can go to your base no matter where you are. So if you have a ship board base, I don't believe this works because you don't actually have a station terminus or a teleporter in a freighter-based base. But if you have a planetary base, you do actually have one. And supposedly, and I haven't played with this because I haven't built a on-planet base, is the ability to teleport between all the stations you've visited. So that's, from my understanding, that's the way it works. That if you have teleported from a station to your base, then you can teleport back to that station. So for every space station that you visit, you want to make sure that you go through the terminus, and then you will have access to that station in the future. That's my understanding anyway. I haven't actually played with that. Alright, so this is a missions listing agent. We'll see. Alright, we'll see what. Plenty of work available and rewards to match. So, I'm going to go ahead and browse the missions. I haven't done them. Whoa, look at all these. toxic cleanup. Vanish friends. So I don't know what the numbers there are. I don't know if that's 4 missions or 4 friends, or I really have no idea. Raid a planetary depot. That doesn't sound very difficult. Secure your goods. Raid a planetary harvester. Eliminate sentinels. Help module 6. So I don't know if you can do... I don't know what a thermic condensate actually is. And I don't know if all of these are just within this system. I don't know if I hope that they are just within this system. And or intentionally vended. So here's the description. A client seeks explorers of discretion. Oh, that's kind of funny, just all on itself. Yeah, just yeah, we want to keep this one quiet. To aid them in a research project. Yeah, right. Certain toxic substances may or may not have been leaked and or intentionally vented into the atmosphere of nearby planets. Scans of local fauna will reveal if this potentially toxic, theoretical, of course, substance is having a long-term effect on the wildlife. Alright. Accept the mission to add to your log. So I might be able to... Oh, so you can add multiple. So I think I shall just add them all, because. So we will discover how all this works together. I have no idea how the missions work. So the Atlas Rising mod, I believe, is what brought missions into the game. Okay, so all of them are in progress. I'll be able to play and see how these different things work. Okay, so this is will be my first set of missions that I've done. I have not really focused on missions. I've been kind of doing my own kind of thing, and it's not really my own kind of thing. It's that what I tend to kind of go after the milestones, and then when I'm done with the milestones, I actually start playing, which is to say I start totally freelancing, just doing whatever interests me. Alright, so here's a deck. So what I'm going to do over here, talk assistant. So we'll see what the Gek... Hello, new friend. The Gek first encounter tradition is to give units. Ooh. Alright, I can do that. So, here's the trick. If you didn't actually know what that Gek said, then you might have trouble knowing what it wants. So, I'm going to give 10 units, just because. And I got nanite clusters for that. Alright, so this is a different variant of the Viking. So I'm going to go ahead and talk to them just because. I don't really need to, but give Viking, sacrifice enemy friendships. Okay. So I'm not sure exactly what they're asking of me. So interloper, give Viking interrogator enemy information. Sacrifice enemy friendship, receive Viking ward. So I don't. Enemy is the Sentinels. I am really no friend of the Sentinels. So anyway, sacrifice enemy friendship, receive Viking reward. So it's okay. Okay, so clearly this is kind of the decision between, small reptilian figure, which is kind of the Viking, or a taller life form in a metal casing, which is clearly the Sentinels. So you're basically being asked to choose between the two. So. So I could indeed pull rank. Surrender information, whatever that information happens to be. In this case, because I can, so even if I had information, then they didn't get it. Alright, so over here is the blueprint trader. So most likely grok, which is kind of a global expression for the Viking. Interloper, give me your nanite clusters, and I will grant you blueprints to upgrade your pathetic weapon. I am forced by my cowardly superior to perform menial geck work when once I would have paid for your nanites in blood. Okay, so trade. Let's see what. So technology already known. So yeah, I know all these. Okay. The moral of the story here is so the availability of different blueprints is directly related to your relationship with the race of the seller. So the better your relationship is, the better the blueprints are. And all the blueprints will be listed, but it'll say you need to achieve this level before these are available to you. So you can see the prices here. The most expensive one here is 260 nanite clusters, so that's a bit of nanite collecting, no doubt. But in the end, a lot of these, it took the randomness out of blueprints. So rather than just getting a random blueprint that you've already gotten 5 times, it lets you select the blueprints that you don't have and need. So it actually was a great idea to put this kind of a system into the game. But because it's tied to your relationship with any of the given races, then it's still got some challenges to it. So it actually gives you an incentive to build those relationships over the time, so you can get the blueprints that you want. So anyway, it does tell you this where it says blueprint already, technology blueprint already known. That will actually be in red, and it will tell you what rating you need to be, what level of relationship you need to be to get those items. Now, if you don't know, so we'll go ahead and go out of here. If you don't know what any of that means, we'll go to Journey, and you have, for instance, the Viking. Standing. is your relationship with them. So this is the progress bar for that. It tells you what your title currently is, and it'll also say what title your currently is and what the next one is, how many you have to go to reach this next whatever it is. That'll all be right here. Words learned. I'm not sure why the words have suddenly changed. I want to see what's going on here. Training milestones. I've collected a boatload of words, but for some reason that word thing is off. So as you can see here, I'm working on topping out a lot of these. So I've taken care of these sentinels. There's 9 different areas of milestones here. One of them you just kind of will do in time. I've warped twice, so I've gone to 2 different solar systems. So eventually you'll knock this one out just by virtue of, I want to get to the end of the universe. And you'll just start warping and warping and warping and warping, and eventually you'll get this one. So this one's just one that happens over time. The hopeful, the extreme survival, you have to find a world where this is possible. Not all worlds have extreme conditions. So you can click this by arriving on one of those worlds and then maintaining some time in that world. Starships destroyed. That's just, again, a matter of time. When you go up and you'll find pirates eventually, and you take them on. So pretty straightforward there. I don't know how many it is to do each click, so I don't know how they've changed that game. Analysis, or planet zoology scanned. Zoology, depending on what school you're from. So I've discovered all species on 4 planets, not including, obviously, the one I've just abandoned. But I do have to go back there because I have a marker there, and because I'm OCD, I have to go get rid of that marker, because otherwise it will stay on my screen and it will annoy the snot out of me forever. So the zoology scanned, you just, as you hit them, you knock off all the species on a particular planet, and boom, you'll knock out another one of those. So I have 6 to go, which also just happens over time. Okay. Okay, so having played around in here, we'll go out, and because I'm kind of investigating this whole solar system anyway, then I can do the missions on here. So there's 2 here to worry about. So this is the crashed freighter here, so I know this particular planet is one that I have. Alright. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think my game crashed. Crashed. Nope, something else happened. Nope, yeah, it did crash. Crash! That was a crash. Alright, so my last save was when I got out of my ship, which kind of sucks. Darn. Alright, so we'll bring this back. Sorry, let me change colors here so this is a little easier to read. This is not my normal color set. Alright. Okay, so I know this is really hard to read because this is UHD. Well, it's actually UHD down converted, so I can record it. But my main monitor here is UHD, which is why everything is so tiny. So this is the spaceship HUD revamp, which is still out there. So I showed all of these in the very first video of this series. So I kind of did the outline of everything. So dismantle core components is still there. Giant space battles, which I didn't really talk about because I didn't originally have it loaded in, and I removed it because with the tethered flying, you have no maneuverability. So once I had that figured out, and the solid traders I talked about, and the exocraft scan boost. So the other one was the one I had installed there, and it didn't seem to do anything, so I have not tested this particular one. But there's only 2 of them that I could find on nomanskymods.com. So No Man's Sky, no apostrophe, and no spaces. nomanskymods.com is where this is. And I only found 2 of them. So I tried one. It did not appear to function. So I'm trying this one, and I have not actually used my exocraft in actually a couple episodes now. So, oops. So anyway, I think I'm going to wrap up here because with Game Crash, I really do need to reboot. And once I reboot, then my video capture card totally freaks out. So I have to do some hardware beating and bashing to get it to resync. So move that off the screen here, and I think we will call it a day, leaving a very friendly cougar staring you in the face saying hello. So this was Sundance, was this particular cougar, and as you can see, he's rather gray, a gray cougar. He was actually really cool. Passed away now, as most of these animals on my screens are, because I've worked with these animals for so long. Anyway, this is Kenty Tiger signing off, and we will see you next time.